This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am honored to have you join us for the next empowering hour as we dig deep into women's health and what you as an empowered individual can do. So today, I want to make sure that everybody knows that if you would like to join us on our live Zoom, if you're out and about watching us on some or any of the amazing platforms that are out there, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, X, Twitter, Instagram, any of those places, even LinkedIn, you are welcome to join us live. You can do so by going to zoom.dailywithdoc.com Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that is 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, 3 to 4 Eastern time. And if you're beyond the United States in a different time zone, please double check by asking, what time is it in my time zone when it is 12 p.m. Pacific time? And the internet can tell you exactly what time it would be. And we welcome you to enjoy it. Welcome you to join us anywhere that you are at. Again, that's zoom.dailywithdoc.com. Now, we are a resource for an amazing community. So if you were invited to this program by somebody specific, whether it's the live or the replay, make sure that you get back with them and tell them thank you for sharing this information with you, because they cared enough about you and knew for a fact that you would find some value in this for either yourself or somebody that you know or love, and then pass it on to them as well. So that's the way information is carried on, kind of like the grapevine. But the nice thing about this is everybody hears the same message. It doesn't get distorted. And the great thing about our message, it's empowering to you as an individual to help you make those life changes that will put you on a better health journey. So even if your health is not where you want it to be, and you've been told that you have to stay on pharmaceuticals the rest of your life, chances are that's not correct. And we're here to share information to help you see what can be done in women's health today. So today we have with us, before we do that, if you're here live with us, make sure that you have pinned in the Zoom, menu, you'll be able to see how you can pin that profile that says a smile. And you'll be able to see the full effect, the full presentation that is then being streamed by our amazing co-hosts out onto the different platforms. So today we have with us Dr. Taylor Mitchell, naturopath doctor, who joins us from Colorado. Now, Taylor is a traditional naturopath who has followed in the footsteps of her grandparents, who have a 30-year practice. She works with many different health challenges, such as hormonal imbalances, women's health, joint pain, digestive discomforts, low energy, poor sleep, skin rashes, viruses, and so much more. She sees complicated patients who have been to many specialists, doctors, and healthcare providers and still aren't seeing the results. And she's passionate about helping people heal not only their physical body, but she will also provide you with simple tools to help your emotional body as well. And she loves helping people recover and recover quickly. So I am honored to be able to bring to the screen with me Dr. Taylor Mitchell. Dr. Taylor, welcome to Daily with Doc. How are you today?
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm amazing. It's such an honor to be here. I just love this platform that you have, this radio show. It's so sweet.
Well, radio, TV, because we're also on Roku TV, Apple TV. We're finalizing the whole Fire TV thing. So I love this platform too. And the fact that we can bring individuals like yourself to the world with information. So today's topic: fuel your feminine fire, the power of nutrients for women. Dr. Taylor, are nutrients important when it comes to women's health?
Oh my gosh. So important.
So when we talk about, a woman, and men, you guys are important too. Don't get me wrong, okay? Your health is just as important. But for women, we have so many different things going on within us, and our bodies do things different than men. So let's talk a little bit about some of those uniqueness factors of women, whether it comes, and I mean, you specialize in imbalances and hormones, women. Share with us today your view on women's health and what we can do through supplementation to support it, whether we're in the childbearing years or at the end, which I was so thankful to go through that change with no symptoms. Talk to us. Take it away.
Yes, thank you for that. So I've been working with many women. I did this interview with this really famous TikTok doctor. He's a neuroscientist. His name is Robert Love, and he has millions of followers. Some of his videos get many millions of views, and we talked about menopause. And so I had so many women reach out to me during, after that, we did that interview. And so I've worked with so many women. I can't even count, probably over 100 women when it comes to hormones and menopause. And I learned a lot. And I talked to a lot of women who did what's called hormone replacement therapy. And I would talk to them afterwards and how they didn't, some of them not only did it not help, sometimes it actually made them feel worse. And they got new symptoms from this therapy. And that's unfortunately what most healthcare practitioners and doctors will recommend is hormone replacement therapy, but it can cause blood clots, and it can actually cause even as extreme as cancer, and it can even worsen or even cause people to have osteoporosis symptoms. And so that's kind of scary. It was kind of crazy to see that people were having these hormone symptoms, and then they would take the recommended therapy and have more symptoms, and it would make them worse. It's just so sad to witness that. That's how our healthcare system works in the US. And little did they know that there's things that are really inexpensive that they can take. And unfortunately, there's so many things that we're exposed to. Did you know that we have, like, plastic's only been around for like 100 years. Plastic is one of the most common endocrine disrupting things in our society. And did you know that like 0.5% of the brain now by weight is microplastics? Isn't that freaking crazy?
Is that natural? Is that normal?
No. Oh my gosh, no. And so the thing about plastic is the reason it's disrupting to our hormones is because there's 3 different types of estrogen, and plastic is xenoestrogen. And so that is the harmful type of estrogen. So where it expands in the blood, and there's, it can create a lot of imbalances, and not only women, but also men too. I mean, men are also extremely affected by the endocrine disrupting chemicals and microplastics that we have in our society. And it's really sad to see that there's microplastics in cord blood and then in sperm, and like all these studies that they're doing, you're not finding anything without microplastics these days. And that is one of the biggest contributing factors to our hormone health and decline, I would say. And it's kind of scary actually with what's happening, and it's so new. I mean, only 100 years, that's not very long. And we've already seen so many things that are detrimental from as a result to these microplastics.
Okay, so I'd like to ask a couple questions on that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they don't trust the water system because it has all these different things like chlorine and fluoride and things that were said to be beneficial to us, which are actually toxic poisons. So they're going to buying bottled water.
Yeah.
You're moving into another toxin.
Yeah, I know. So unfortunately, it's really difficult for people to get good quality water. I am so blessed to live in Colorado, and I live 15 minutes away from El Dorado Springs, which is, they tested it, some of the best water in the United States. And I just can go get it, and anytime I can go fill up my 5-gallon jugs, which, some of them are plastic, and I think glass is more important, even though it's really heavy and kind of more difficult to navigate. But however, in the water supply, if people drink their tap water, which I did a really big study for a few years actually, and I see that a majority of the people in the United States drink the tap water, and people get like letters in the mail or newspaper saying that we've got the tap water is safe. It's some of the best water in the world. And that's just like so not true, because I used to test water for a living. I used to go to people's homes in Colorado and test the tap water, and it actually has more chlorine in your tap water than in a swimming pool. And there's so many impurities, and there's trihalomethanes, and there's birth control, there's hormonal birth control in our water supply. So if you go to a restaurant, it's very unlikely that's filtered water. You're drinking the water because, of course, people want to refresh while they're eating a meal, and it's tap water. So people shower and bathe in tap water, and so we're still absorbing all of those impurities into our body. And people say, hey, if you're not taking your medication anymore, go ahead and flush it down the toilet. That's getting reclaimed into our water supply, and that is definitely not getting filtered out. So, I mean, yeah, and so then of course you're going to want to go buy bottled water, but then you have to worry about microplastics. So what do people do? I mean, it's like we're set up for failure around here. And so if you get like your own water filter, like a Berkey filter is good. You can get a whole home water filtration system, which I recommend those too. And that's how you can really protect yourself. But then you got to make sure you're, taking nutrients, because the water doesn't have nutrients. So
that's right. You filter. Those filters take out all of the impurities and the minerals.
Yep. Exactly.
So you have to supplement.
Yeah, exactly.
You were talking about tap water, and I know within, it's 60 miles from me is an Air Force base. And then the next town over, or just about 4 miles farther, is a town where, since I've been living here for 7 years, off and on, their water system has been shut down because of nuclear contaminants in the water.
Oh my gosh. Nuclear contaminants?
Yeah. stuff being buried in underground and then into the water table and then into it's just a mess. So it's really important what we're putting in our body as far as food goes, but also water, folks.
Yeah.
And I love, you had mentioned the Berkey water system, a whole house filter system. I'm on a well, which I test my water often because I'm in the middle of farmland. So everything that they're spraying on the fields is absorbing into the water table. And I have to make sure that that's staying clean too. So I have to have a special filter on my house to keep those things out. You know, I don't think many people really acknowledge that the water coming out of their sink is contaminated. And then those that do, going and get the bottled water, which then has its own contamination.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's really
so
crazy.
You had talked about the plastics and affecting the endocrine system. Mm-hmm. How does the endocrine system affect women's health?
Mm-hmm. So that is our hormonal system. So, and what are our hormones? So our hormones are all of our glands, our pineal and pituitary, adrenal, thyroid, thymus glands, and also our ovaries and our pancreas. So that's what our hormonal system is. And so endocrine system is basically our hormone system. And that's affected, in a negative or positive way, but what's in our environment, what's in our water, what's in our air. And unfortunately, there's a lot of places in the United States with terrible air quality. And there's unfortunately I don't know how, but there's microplastics, there's heavy metals, and there's calling me. Hey, Monica, please stop calling me. I'm on the radio. Thank you. Bye. My sister's called me like 100 times. Love you. I'm going to turn my phone on airplane mode. She won't stop. Sorry about that. I don't know if you guys heard that ringing sound. So there's things in our air that are affecting us. And so getting an air filter is important. And then also making sure that we're cleansing our lungs, because that's really important to do that, because we accumulate things.
So how would you cleanse your lungs?
So you can either breathe in certain essential oils. There's eucalyptus, there's oregano. You can smell it. Some people like a diffuser. If you're going to use a diffuser, then you've got to make sure it's 100% pure essential oils, because there's a lot of essential oils that are not. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but doTERRA is only 60% pure. And so I would not recommend using those products, to be completely honest. And I think it's important to say that because that can also affect our hormonal endocrine system, and it can affect our kidneys and our pancreas. And I think it's important to say that there's impure oils out there that can be actually harmful. And what I like to do to clean the lungs is boil eucalyptus in a pot and do like an herbal steam. You can do like a couple different herbs. You can like boil in a pot and then like put a towel over yourself and then like breathe that in. It's a really great way to like steam and like cleanse things. And not just
so are you using the actual eucalyptus plant, or are you doing the essential oil?
I do both. So the plant,
I do essential oil.
Yeah, essential oil is great too, but you can do the plants and that'll really help.
Fantastic. And for folks, if you didn't know it, the best essential oils can be found from Longevity. So make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's no one to thank, or you found us through our newsletter, you can go to DailywithDoc.com and you'll find most of those essential oils there as well. So we've got a question, Dr. Taylor. Okay. The question is, what's better, distilled or filtered water?
Distilled for sure. It's pure. I love distilled water. I definitely.
And then would you make sure that you intentionally add minerals to your water, or make sure that you're taking them?
Yeah, Longevity has the best minerals out there. I mean, they're incredible. And I would definitely recommend you can take them with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine or the Rebound, or you can do the for kids the Cherry Mints, kiwi mints, because
They're
kids
not
need.
just for kids. Come on now.
I
Or
mean,
I just
I mean, I have
Wow.
some. I literally drink it. Like I love the taste. Just like how you give yourself the minerals, especially because I sauna a lot. So after the sauna, you got to make sure you're replacing your minerals. After
Oh,
you,
absolutely.
yeah.
And that goes along with what one of our participants here from Australia, he says that he distills his water, has been since 1998, and always adds minerals every day to his water. So you're on the right track there, Harry. Now,
Yeah.
specifically for women's health. Oh, and then we've got another question. What about reverse osmosis water?
So that's not terrible. It doesn't have a lot of nutrients and it can be dehydrating. So I think spring water, distilled water is best. Just make sure that you're taking nutrients that are hydrating and making sure, like, if you're going to do reverse osmosis water, I would eat a lot of organic fresh fruit because that has like hydrobioactive water. It's really hydrating. Like organic lemon, I would definitely always put organic lemon into your water. It's really hydrating and it'll hydrate you and um, give you some of that stuff that you really need. So, I mean, reverse osmosis water is not terrible. You can drink it, but it can be depleting because it's just, the process and like how it has literally nothing in it. That can be, I actually,
And
sorry, go ahead.
you got to make sure that you're keeping on top of changing out those filters.
Yeah.
Because I know that as they're filtering the guck out, that guck can create bacteria.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about supplements that would be beneficial for women's health specifically.
So, you know that Longevity has incredible women hormonal health products. They have that Pro line, they've got like the women's FX and stuff like that. So that was something that people love. But actually, they did a study with saffron for women's health and hormonal health and menopausal health. And what affects menopause a lot of times is stress and cortisol, because that's a stress hormone. And so any symptoms that you have are going to worsen with stress and with cortisol. And so when women took saffron, it actually significantly decreased their stress hormone cortisol in their blood. So saffron's an incredible one. Evening primrose is incredible. Dong Quai is really good. Wild yam is really good. You can even take the organ meats. Like you can actually take, pancreas and kidney and heart and thymus and pituitary to support your hormones. And women who are menopausal, I highly recommend. I recommend taking organ meats, like hormonal like organ meats as well, because that's what our body needs. It's the nutrients. It's like the enzymes. It's like the frequency. So you're taking like the frequency of hormones and those organs. It's going to, benefit those organs. So that's what I would do. And pregnenolone
So
too.
all of those ingredients, because they're not all minerals, they're not all vitamins, they're not all nutrients, like the organ meats. Yeah, you're not going to be, but you can go to the Longevity website, make sure that you're going to your distributor's Longevity website, do a search for those ingredients, and you're going to find the Xerafem, the woman's FX, Stay Balanced. We've got a hormone FX that are just amazing products. Now, would you take just those products by themselves, or do you still need the foundation and the 90 essential nutrients?
You always need the foundation. Like every human being needs 90 essential nutrients. You need 16 minerals, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids. And then, that's like our foundation. That's what we should be eating with our food. But however, with general farming, it's not farming anymore. I mean, we're not farming. Like you think of a traditional farmer with all those big crops and like, no, man, it's just pesticides on pesticides. And then they also don't replenish the soil. And they don't, like you're supposed to wait 7 years and then use the soil again. We don't do that. We just pump it out. And then we also don't add all of our traditional sources of nutrients that we would get from our food. We no longer practice those anymore. We have many different ways that we would get minerals into our food, and we don't anymore. And then on top of that, all these pesticides, I think 99% of the crops in the United States are sprayed with these chemicals. And so that alone is going to be really harmful to the system, and you need support. I mean, we have all these chemicals and all this stuff that I was talking about, microplastics. If you have a body that's nutrified, you're going to do a lot better than if you didn't. So, I mean, for everybody, even if you're not dealing with hormonal issues, needs to take nutrients. And then these stuff, these enzymes, these herbs, these plants, these organ meats are on top of that. Just fill up your cup, fill up your tank.
Yeah. Well, and that plays into a little bit about why I kind of backed off from doing a garden here where I'm at, because of all of the farming around me, and they do aerial spraying. So I'm saving up for my greenhouse so I don't get that overspray. But so we have a question here that is coming from one of our viewers in Zoom, and Hattie is wanting to know, or she makes a statement and a question. Women assume painful menstrual cycles are normal and we have to live with them. What is needed for women not to have this in their reality, and what is out of balance and how to correct?
Great question. That's a loaded question, though, because there's so many things I can say about that. So, I don't really know many people who don't have some type of symptoms around their period. They get headaches, they get really bad bloating and cramps, and their mood and their low energy, and they don't sleep well. And I personally don't have any of those symptoms when I menstruate. Whenever I have my period or whatever,
Your
I
monthly?
don't. Yeah, my monthly, whatever you want to call it. I don't have those symptoms. I sleep fine. I don't get bloated. I don't get cramping. And there's a lot of reasons why that's happening. Could be nutrient deficiencies, could be dehydration, could be endocrine disrupting chemicals. And did you know that tampons have 30 added chemicals? Did you know that? And did you also know, sorry?
Oh, well, whenever I heard that years ago, I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to use those.
Yeah,
That's
no.
horrible.
It's also the process of it too. So women use those tampons and the blood is supposed to be eliminated. Like, that's our body's natural process, is to limit that blood. And we have something that's clogging up that process. The infertility is the worst it's ever been right now. And women are getting their period 8 years younger than they're supposed to. I mean, we have a huge epidemic right now when it comes to hormonal issues and how bad it's gotten with infertility for women, and also lower sperm count for men. And I would say a lot of it is endocrine disrupting chemicals. And you know that tampons themselves can cause PCOS and endometriosis. And that's a huge issue. And I see women all the time that, use tampons, and they're doing yoga and they're doing all these exercises that you're really not supposed to be doing while you're on your period, and especially with a tampon in. And so when it comes to the period, it really just depends. I mean, some women don't eat very healthy, and like a lot of people don't eat very healthy. Well, they don't know. They think they're eating healthy, and they eat all these crackers, and the crackers are really dehydrating. And you're actually, like, Chinese medicine says you're not supposed to eat crackers. It's like processed, like dehydrated grains. You're not really supposed to eat dehydrated stuff that much, like fruits. People eat like dried mangoes and things like that. You're actually not supposed to eat that. That's the same as just eating candy. It's not as bad as like a Twix bar, but it's just, you're not supposed to eat stuff that's dehydrated or dried, because that can be dehydrating. And also, you're like separating the nutrients from its fiber source. And so eating, drinking like juices, you're separating juice like grapes or apples from its fiber source, and that can be really bad for your liver. Going on little tangents here, but there's a lot of things that can cause that. And so, with sugar and with pesticides and with inflammatory foods like canola oil. And I think people don't really think about how canola oil and seed oils can affect our hormones. But whenever you are consuming these foods, and what canola is rapeseed oil. So they'd change the name, and it's, America is the only place that's legal. What that can do is it can make your blood more thick and sticky. And so that can affect our hormones, because especially with women, we're supposed to be eliminating blood. And when the blood, some women have really clotted, a lot of women have clotting blood and like thicker blood than we're supposed to. And that can be a reason as to why women have more painful periods. There's so many reasons. They don't exercise enough. They're not getting enough sunshine. They're not moving their body enough. They're really stressed out, and stress is a huge thing. I don't know a lot of people who don't have stress. I mean, stress is everywhere. I think now more than ever, because
I think so too.
So Yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons. I would have to just ask questions and help because whenever it comes to women and their cycles, there's like 100 things that can affect you. So
Right. So we want to pay attention to what we're using during our cycles.
yeah.
'Cause, is that causing more problems?
Mhm.
And I am thankful that now they have more options when it comes to natural that are chemical free. So definitely it's worth the extra little bit of money in using those things, making sure that they're on the 90 essential nutrients and a hormone balancer. So
So
there's a couple different options there, and paying attention to their food sources.
yeah.
So that's a great question, and that comes with many questions for that individual to figure out, okay, what is in their lifestyle, not just their diet, but their lifestyle that could be contributing to that.
And then whenever women lose our blood, we don't really have a lot of people that tell us that we need to replenish our blood. So a lot of women that go through menopause or women that don't have really, good periods, they need to build their blood back. And how do we do that? Foods that are red, green, and purple. My favorite is steamed red beets. Go get organic. If you can get local from your farmer's market, even better. Chop them up and put them in a pot and boil them. And you can drink the beet broth because a lot of people don't like the taste of beets, and I totally understand that. But the beet broth is delicious. Kind of tastes like carrot juice in a way. I would drink that, and then if eating it would be great too. I know I said don't eat juice, but some people that can't do this, I said don't drink juice. You're not really supposed to, but we do need to build back our blood. So you can go to like natural grocers or Sprouts or Whole Foods and get organic beet juice and drink that. That would be a way to build back our blood. There's purple cabbage and there's purple carrots and things like that. Those foods are really high in iron, and they can also really help build back the blood. And iron itself is really important as well for our blood. So I would do that. But those
And
colors
if,
in particular are rich in the blood building formula and nutrients.
oh, excellent. And for those of you who don't have organic beets, Longevity has cardio beets that
Yeah,
uses organic
there you
in
go.
there to help with that as well. So that's fantastic. So that's just going to encourage me to, drink more cardio beets. And it's got tart cherry. Is it tart cherry or sweet
Yeah,
cherry?
I think it's, I don't know.
In there. Tart
Tart cherry.
Which then helps with the flavor of it as well. So I've had it a few times. The first time it's like, okay, it tastes like beets. And then the next time it's like, oh, this is tasting better. So I don't mind beets. I like beets, but I don't always have the beets, especially living 70 miles from a grocery store,
Yes.
in order and not growing them. So I love the fact that Longevity offers healthy options that we can trust. Now, you had mentioned something about freeze drying foods or drying foods. And there's a question, wait, no freeze dried foods, which that's one of the ways that I preserve foods. So if I hydrate it before I consume it, and hydrating it with mineral water, of course, is that going to be okay? Or is that still dehydrating to the body?
So, I mean, that's going to help for sure. It's just the process of like dehydration itself, of dehydrating the foods, like really trying to get people to stay away from like all these dried fruit that they're eating all the time, because that is just like eating candy for the body. But if you were to hydrate it, I think that would definitely help for sure. And
So
drinking.
yeah, and there's a difference between like store dried fruit,
Mhm.
because they use a chemical process in that drying to keep the color.
Yeah.
And freeze drying, where you're just taking the liquids out.
Yeah,
So
that's different.
big difference.
Yeah,
Big
very
difference
different.
there.
Yeah, freeze dried is
So,
not nearly as bad as like that, like you said, like the chemical and like the process that they dehydrate like fruit at the grocery store. It's a very different process.
and then our next question is, why do some pregnant women have morning sickness?
It's a great question. Like I said, there's 100 reasons, but people think that it's totally 100% normal to have morning sickness. And I'm not saying that if you have morning sickness, you're a bad person or that you're really unhealthy or that you should be really worried. It's actually not necessarily normal. I know women who are like doctors, naturopaths who don't have morning sickness when they're pregnant. And there can be so many different things. It could be toxicity, there could be mold, there could be parasites, there could be fungus, there could be bad bacteria. Um, there could be an imbalance in the body. I mean, there's so many things that can cause a woman to feel nauseous when they're pregnant. And that's why they've got to supplement and they've got to make sure that they're avoiding plastic, like never ever heat plastic. Like if you don't touch cash register receipts, because that is like the coating on the cash register receipts is heated plastic, and that's like one of the most common ways people have these to-go mugs, and the heated lid is one of the most common ways for people to get you take people drink from that lid, or they take the lid off and drink it, and like that's heated plastic. That's one of the most common ways to get microplastics into your body. But I would have to, with women with feeling nauseous and morning sickness, I'd have to talk to them because there's a lot of different things that can cause it. So we have to figure out what it is and it kind of pinpoint some things. But I would say they need nutrients. They need, for women, this is like advice as a general, my general advice for pregnant women. I would start eating a lot more colorful vegetables, like things that you don't eat very often, like leeks and bok choy, Brussels sprouts, and rainbow chard, and make sure you're steaming it and putting,
I love
or onion
love
salt.
rainbow.
Yeah, rainbow chard's so good. So eat more colorful vegetables. You can do organic sourdough. I think I want more people to not be so afraid of sourdough because that's actually one of the only breads that people can eat. I know people who are really celiac and have a lot of gut issues, and like whenever they have a little bit of gluten, they go and they like almost die. It's crazy. People can do sourdough, especially local sourdough, and pregnant women can especially benefit from organic sourdough. That'll help with morning sickness. And dates will really help as well. It also helps with lactating and doing some chamomile. And there's also this Chinese herbs that you can take that helps with morning sickness. I know Google tells you not to use it, but I don't really trust Google as much as I trust Chinese medicine doctors. So if you do know somebody who's pregnant with morning sickness, because with Chinese herbs, you can't just recommend the herb. You have to ask lots of questions to see, how your body is. Then you can recommend that herb. So they can reach out to me and I can tell them which Chinese herb, because there's multiple of them with morning sickness.
Absolutely. I know one that I had used was, it was crystallized ginger.
Oh, ginger. Oh, yeah. I was going to say ginger is one of the best things you can take for morning sickness. And I wouldn't do sugarized. They have like sugar on top of ginger. I would get fresh ginger. Here's how you consume ginger. I love ginger so much. Go to the store and get it organic. I don't know if you guys have natural grocers, but get it the raw ginger, living ginger. Chop it up and boil it in a pot and drink that. And even if you want to be a little crazy, you can eat the ginger. And you can put honey in it if you want that. But I would make sure that the honey, whatever you're consuming is not heated, because if you heat honey, that can actually be harmful to your liver. So don't put it while it's hot in there. But ginger is, incredible for morning sickness as well. So thank you for that reminder, because that was something it's on my protocol for women with morning sickness. But that's the best way to consume ginger, is fresh and living. Whenever something's living, it has living nutrients in it, and it's like the most bang for your buck, the most benefit you can get from when it's still alive and it's still like fresh. Yeah.
So just kind of rehashing that, you get your organic ginger, you slice it, then you bring it to a simmer, not a full royal boil, and then let it cool, then add your honey.
Yeah. So you can put it on like medium. You don't want to like get it, like you don't put it on high and boil it on high, because you can like take some of the nutrients, but you can medium. And if you want to make it, take longer, you can put it on simmer and it will get hot and it will turn into tea. You can do that with turmeric too. Turmeric's incredible. But yes, that's definitely
turmeric and ginger together are really good too.
Powerful power couple.
Awesome. All right. Well, and there's a comment says that you look stress-free, Doc.
Thank you.
So you're doing something right. Let's go to our hand that is up, and let's see. The first hand is Bill. Go ahead and unmute yourself. What question do you
Hi,
have for
Dr.
Dr.
Taylor.
Taylor today?
Hi, Bill.
On a repeat, I was out of town, so I'm listening to about your EMF, and you mentioned Fred on patches. Where do I find out about that?
Who
Fred.
recommended you today?
That was December.
Becca. Yeah, Rebecca, do you want
to September 4th showing?
Yeah, so when it comes to the EMF, you can find those patches in your Longevity store. To get more information about it, Fred Van Loo, which is one of our master distributors that is a brand ambassador as well, he has a website, and I think it is waterdoc.com. Ruth Ellen, is that it? Right? I think that's what it is, but waterdoc.com, and you can get information about the patches, but don't make your purchases from there unless Fred is the person that referred you to this program. Okay. But ewater.com. Thank you, AJ. So it's ewater.com, and you can get information in regards to the EMF products that have been brought to Longevity by Fred Van Loo, and that includes the EMF patches, the EP2 pendants, and there's also an egg that goes in the refrigerator that brings longer life to the produce that you put into your refrigerator. Just pretty incredible the way things work. So does that answer your question, Bill?
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Great question. Thank you. And next, let's go to Lorna. Lorna, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Sorry, I didn't mean to have my hand up again. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. But thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for all the information. I'm quite enjoying it again. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And folks, if you have questions and you're here live with us, you can go ahead and raise your hand or put it into the chat to me, and I'll make sure that we get to your questions. We do have another hand up. Thank you, Marilyn. Marilyn, go ahead and unmute yourself. What question are you bringing to the show today?
Well, I have a client who had her gallbladder removed, and she's only 40 years old, and she went into menopause, and she's all upset because she can't have children anymore.
Oh.
Is there anything she can do? She was trying to do hormone replacement therapy, and it's been horrible for her. She's actually had tremendous amount of bleeding when the doctors actually gave her hormonal replacement therapy. So now she doesn't know what to do, but she'd like to get pregnant again. And I think her periods are either she's bleeding a lot or she's not bleeding at all.
Yeah, it's a great question. So, I need to talk to this woman. I'm happy to, I can just have her call me, give her my phone number. And because she still should be able to get pregnant, if she's, I know women who have had a child at 50 years old, and a healthy child. So she definitely could. And there's going to be a lot of fear mongering, people telling her that you can't, and doctors saying you can't. And with those beliefs and with that fear, then you can't. But if there's somebody telling you that you can, then you can. And so there's a lot of things that she needs to do that will help, detoxify her body and give her body what it needs. And also a lot of it's mental. So if our mental health is not really good, then it's going to be hard to be healthy. It's going to be hard to get pregnant. And our husband too. So if our husband's negative and he's always complaining all the time, it's going to be hard to conceive. It's going to be hard
Her
to get
husband had a stroke. Her husband had a stroke, so he's got issues.
Oh, yeah, dang it. So that's going to be really stressful.
She's so concerned about the fats because the gallbladder's removed, like not getting enough fats. She doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, send her my way. I'm happy to, if she's your client, so I'm not going to take her from you at all. I just think I can get her some information.
Okay, I'll send her your way.
Okay.
And folks, at the moment, way to get a hold of Dr. Taylor is through her website. Do we want to give that, or
Just
is
give my
there another?
email and my phone number because I'm gonna make my website better because just it's hard for people
Okay.
to like remember and write that down. So my phone number, feel free to reach out to me. Is 720-412-7744. And then my email address is drtaylormitchell@gmail.com. That's drtaylormitchell@gmail.com. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me is email me. And we can, go from there.
And that is TaylorMitchell
Mhm.
at gmail.com. So DrTaylorMitchell at gmail.com. Felt like I was on the Mickey Mouse Club. But so yeah, folks, I get asked all the time, do you have naturopath doctors in certain areas that you recommend? Folks, I don't have a list for every single state. But the nice thing with technology and being able to or use the phone or use Zoom is you can have virtual doctor's appointments with a naturopath. We have a number of them that we host here on the show. Dr. Taylor Mitchell is one of them. Absolutely love her. Dr. Laura Dennison is another. Dr. Joanne Conway is another. Of course, we have Dr. Joel Wallach, who I see is on with us today. Hello, Doc. Thanks for
Dr.
joining us.
Wallach here. Oh my gosh, I love you so much, Doc. So grateful for you. And man, I just am so honored that he's here and that he's still, up and running and still making such a strong impact. I mean, he created this legacy, he created this company, Longevity, that's changed my life and so many people's lives. And I talk to people all the time that just have had miraculous results with the products and the message itself. And it's such an incredible thing. So Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for being here and for all you do. I just am so inspired by you and I just love you so much.
Well, Dr. Taylor, do you have a favorite book that Dr. Wallach has written?
Depends on if you want to become a scientist, then you can read epigenetics because that product.
That's actually my favorite, and that was my book of hope.
Oh my
Epigenetics.
gosh, that book is just incredible. I actually really love the one about immortalium, like that one. You have that one too?
I've got all of them.
Allergy.
Immortality, absolutely. Age Beaters.
Those books just blow me away. And I really also love the original Dead Doctors Don't Lie. I think that's just it's right there. I love how you just I love how you have them right there. That's so beautiful. I love that book. I mean, it's just how it started, the foundation, how it came to be. That book is so adorable. Hell's Kitchen. Oh yeah, that book's amazing too.
Yeah, Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen is another one.
Yeah.
Really good one. So yeah. And folks, you can get Dr. Wallach's books by going to drjwallach.com. That is drjwallach.com. And let's see, do we have any more hands up? Nope. Let's see if we can get Dr. Wallach unmuted. So, Dr. Wallach, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, there we are.
There you are. So give me one moment. Let me see real quick if I can get your camera on, and let's bring you on camera with us. Can I get some help from my team, please? Okay. Can you start your video, Doc? There we go.
Get it?
So, folks, Dr. Joel Wallach is the man that started this crusade. And at 85, he still shows up. Thank you so much, Doc.
Well, thank you, ladies. I can't let you have all the fun. So I'm here with you and appreciate you. And of course, we have so many things going on. And of course, our newest stuff is It's All in Your Head, covers 50 different diseases that are caused by osteoporosis of the skull. Doctors don't get taught anything about osteoporosis of the skull. And each chapter covers one of the cranial nerves. And that picture on page 7 goes to all the locations that are damaged from osteoporosis of the skull. On page 6,
I've got you, Doc.
yeah, your normal skull at the top, osteoporosis at the bottom. There you go. And these things are, what should I say, doctors don't get trained about this. And so they want to use machinery and they want to use chemicals and drugs and prescriptions. And really, all you have to do is stay away from the bad stuff, take all your nutrients. And we have people who have so many diseases, including Parkinson's disease, and including ALS, Huntington's chorea, Bell's palsy. All those things can be reversed within weeks, even if you've had them for 25 years, okay, by taking the 90 essential nutrients. And Parkinson's disease, that's one where they knew it was genetic, right? Well, that's what they thought. And we have on page of our flip chart, page 27, Madeline O. Okay, Madeline, she's like 75 years old. There you go, 75 years old. Was being treated for like 12 years for Parkinson's disease. And the doctor said, okay, she's kind of at the end of the road here. She's not going to make it. And one of her relatives, also a member of Longevity, so I asked if there's anything to do for her. So I gave him a program. And to make a long story short, in 2.5 months, she didn't have Parkinson's disease anymore after 12 years. Okay, freaked the doctors out. They said, we must have the wrong person's data here. So they redid all the tests, perfectly normal. And now she's going around the world telling her story. And we have hundreds and hundreds of people who are taking our nutrients, including the I-26 to get rid of Parkinson's disease, I-26. And it's kind of interesting that when you have something like Parkinson's disease, this can be gotten rid of in weeks. I don't care if you've had it for 25 years, you'll be gotten rid of in just weeks by taking the 90 essential nutrients, get rid of all the bad stuff, take the I-26, rebuild the myelin in the brain and spinal cord. And doctors said, oh, you can't rebuild the brain. You know, it's a genetic thing. Well, doctors don't know what they're talking about because they didn't get taught this in school. And so this is why we came out with this. So the rate of Parkinson's disease in America has gone up from 60,000 a year to 90,000 a year, went up 50%. Last year went up 50% because doctors were giving everybody something called cholesterol. No, they were giving cholesterol medicine. Cholesterol medicine. Okay, and lowering the cholesterol. Well, cholesterol makes up 85% of the brain weight and 95% of the female hormones. You need cholesterol. So when you take away cholesterol, all the bad things start to happen. And so doctors think they're doing somebody some good. The only time cholesterol is bad is when you fry it.
Yeah.
Cholesterol is good for your sex hormones, whether you're male or female. It's good for your brain, whether you're male or female. And so this is why we came up with the I-26 as a derivative of it. And it's one of those things where we have so many people say, I had Parkinson's disease for 20 years and just 2 weeks on this, I got 50% better. After a month and a half, it's gone. And over and over and over and over again, we're like 30-something countries that are using these programs to deal with Parkinson's disease. So this is something that I'm very, very proud of. We're very happy to be able to get rid of those problems. And what a great holiday present. The holidays are coming up. Okay, we have this table and chart has all our books and CDs and things which might fit somebody's health challenges they have. Okay, we have 25 best-selling books. Okay.
So that's what Dr. Wallach is holding up is the informational or the educational brochure, which you can also find in the back of the flip chart, also in the back of the metabolic syndrome. And you can find all of his books at drjwallach.com. Now, Dr. Wallach, today we're talking about women's health. You mentioned a little bit about cholesterol being important for women's health and hormones. we have a question for both of the docs. When should women start using nutrition if they are in the childbearing years?
Well, they should take it long before they're in the childbearing years. They should be taking nutrition a year before they're conceived. Their
Yeah,
mother,
but so that's what we're telling, that's what we're educating. But is it too late?
well, it's never too late. You're taking the 90 essential nutrients and get away from the bad foods before conception. Don't say, well, I missed 3 periods, I better get rid of the bad stuff. You're going to have problems there. This child may have an issue. A little girl thinks she's a boy. A little boy thinks he's a girl. Okay. There's so much of that going on now. It's more and more and more of these gender issues. And that's because the mothers were not taking the supplements when they're, still sexually active. And the doctors, the OBGYN should be held responsible for this. They don't talk about, vitamins and minerals. They talk about hormones and that kind of stuff and delivery dates and that kind of thing. And so really, all these gender issues, you have to look at the doctors, okay? Either the general practitioner, the OBGYN, the internist, the pharmacist, all of them are responsible for these gender issues we have now. In many cases, you get rid of gender issues by giving them our Zera test for males who think they're girls, Zera Femme for little boys who think they're girls, okay, or little girls who think they're boys, little girls who think they're boys, the Zera Femme, and we have those, and they come, in bottles. Here's one. This is a Zera test. I'm not going to take any Zera Femme. I'll take Zera test at 85. There we go.
There's a question for you since you're on with us. The question is, why did you sue the FDA or sue whatever institute it was in regards to folic acid?
Okay, we sued the FDA 8 times in federal court. Okay, and we had to sell our farms to get the money to do that. 8 times. We sued them 8 times in federal court, FDA, Food and Drug Administration. And that was because they refused to put supplements in baby formulas. Okay, the baby formula manufacturers lobbied against that. They just wanted to take milk powder or milk powder in water and give that to girls and boys and so forth, and women who were breastfeeding. And they didn't have enough nutrition in there. And these babies were dying of SID, sudden death syndrome. And so we finally, after, 5 years, 8 trials in federal court, we won every time. And they finally gave up because they knew as long as we were alive, we weren't going to give up. So, and it cost them, they were over $3 million they had spent on those trials. And they said, enough is enough. And so it's one of those things where once we got the nutrients into the baby formulas, within 3 months' time, sudden death syndrome disappeared. You don't hear about sudden death syndrome anymore. Maybe 1 case a year, okay, where the mothers, just feed them milk instead of breastfeeding, or instead of a formula with the nutrients in it. Okay, so just milk in a bottle or something like that. And things were.
Dr. Wallach? So we do have a hand up and we only have a couple minutes left in the show.
Okay, let's go.
Can we take a question?
Yes.
All right.
Question.
Go ahead, AJ.
So hey, Dr. Wallach,
AJ.
I got a question for the young doctor above you, because she is trying to follow in your footsteps, and I gotta ask her, what are the group of products that you feel that women should be absolutely making sure that they take, that Doc helped to formulate? And then, if you're missing any, I'm sure Doc will fill in.
Just a general products or for hormones?
Well, for general health of women, we want our women to be strong and healthy. And what do you think?
Yeah, so they have to take the 90 essential nutrients, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Ultimate Classic, your, the Ultra Body Toddy. They have to be taking one of those, and every day. And then they have to be taking the essential fatty acids. That's extremely important. The omegas, you can even do the people plant-based, you can do the plant-based ones. The Longevity has their own, and we also have the Prohoba Omega. Those are both great. I'm not sure which one Doc likes better, but I know that
He likes CFA plus better.
I like EFA plus better too. I actually have it right here. I take the EFA plus personally. I think I have a better experience with that. And then the Pro line is incredible, and for hormones in particular, the Xerafem it's just like, that stuff is mind blowing. It tests so incredibly strong. I've got doctors all over who I work with who put them in they have these machines that can test the efficacy of products, and the Pro line is just like bam, it blows people away. So that's a really good one. And I know that Longevity loves the OsteoFX, but that is a product that really needs to be taken. And then I think Rebound is really important personally. I think that Rebound is a product that people can take every day because it tastes so incredibly well, and it gives people healthy, sustainable energy. And especially people who are exercising, it makes you want to exercise. And then people who are lazy, I'm like, take this, and they just want to get up and move. So that's a product that that's my favorite product. Everybody who comes to see me, I give them that product, and they love it, they want it, they take it, and they feel amazing. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah, Rebound's good for energy. We don't want the carbonated drinks. And of course, it comes in a box. It comes 30 of these sticks in a box. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I go through 2 of these boxes a month because I take 2 of these sticks a day, one at breakfast and one sort of in the middle of the afternoon. And then, so again, I get 2 of these boxes per month, and I get my Rebound. The Rebound was made for Theo Ratliff, our basketball player, whose career was over because he had so many joint problems and osteoporosis and arthritis and hip problems and knee problems. And I came up with the Rebound for him. I also came up with the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack for him, which was a Healthy Start Pack. And then I added the Gluco-Gel to it to make it the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. And in 3 months' time, he came back, he got his job back. He made $100 million, $100 million, okay, in 9 months using our products.
He's absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
There's no one more fantastic than you, Doc.
It was all made for Theo.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach and Dr. Taylor Mitchell. Both of you amazing. Dr. Taylor being a second generation. You skipped a generation. Does that still count for a second generation?
Yeah, I think so.
Second generation naturopathic doctor who her grandfather also kind of liked Dr. Wallach as well. So folks, I could not do this program without my team. So as they're coming on the screen and we are coming at the end of the show, I just want to do a huge thank you to Dr. Wallach for being here with us, to Dr. Taylor Mitchell for bringing information in regards to not just women's hormone health, but the things like microplasma and the importance of looking at our water and the things that are in the water that are causing toxins and hazards in our body. Thank you so much, Dr. Taylor Mitchell, for being a guest with us. We'll see you next Tuesday also, as we're going to be talking about children's health. So tune in, folks, as we come to you next week with Dr. Taylor Mitchell again, talking about children's health. My co-hosts that I have with me today, we have AJ, who is our director of marketing, or marketing director. I'm trying to remember what I put for his title, but I'll get it right eventually.
It's digital marketing director.
Oh, yeah.
You. DMD, digital marketing director, who's responsible for helping us get on all these different platforms. So thank you, AJ. We have Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who is my right hand woman, who helps me stay on track, helps us all stay organized. So thank you so much, Ruth Ellen. She's also the one that is streaming this out onto the different platforms. And we have Miss Marilyn. Folks, if you're not here live with us in the Zoom, you're missing out on that chat as she's doing dictation and sharing information that is being shared in the chat. So if you're here live with us in the chat and you didn't know that there was a chat going on, you're missing out on that. You can turn that chat on in the Zoom option. It is only available here in the live Zoom room, and that helps to protect the privacy of our visitors and people here on live with us as well. So thank you so much, Marilyn, for that. And all that you do with your skill of being an amazing typist. And we have Sherry, who's part of our tech team, who helps us get everything set up. So thank you, Sherry. And we have Rod, who is helping to let people in and also keeping an eye on all the different platforms, bringing questions in as well. So thanks to my team, we are able to bring this all together and be a resource to you as an individual, even if you're not part of the longevity family. A resource to you, giving information that is empowering, that has solutions. So a lot of times people tell you what's wrong with the world, but they don't give you a solution. Well, we're sharing things that go on within your health and a solution. And these solutions are the only thing that helped me. And I was seeking a solution for many, many years. So after losing 13 different poor health conditions and 100 pounds, I think it really does work. In fact, I know it really works, and that's why I do this program. Folks, my name is Becca Dukes. Again, get back with a person that shared this program with you because they cared enough about you to share this program with you. So care enough about them to say thank you. And also let us know where you're joining us from. So if you're watching on one of the platforms, whether it's live or replay, say, hey, joining you from whatever state, country you are in. We want to know how far our reach is. We also want to know which platforms people are visiting the most. So help us out there. Folks, if you're not part of our email list and where we send out reminders and also send out information about our replays, go to DailywithDoc.com, sign up for our email list, make sure that you're on there, and you will receive an email as we're sharing information about our programming and specials that are going on. But always get back with the person that shared this program with you. Now, if there's no one to thank, feel free to give us a call or use our website, DailywithDoc.com. Our call number is 855-949-3377. Again, 855-949-3377. We are here to help you reach your health goals. And in life, U-turns are allowed. Again, my name is Becca Dukes. If you're interested in joining us as part of the team, again, either the person that shared this program with you, they're your first point of contact, the person to get back to. But if there is nobody and you'd like more information about our, AJ, you held your hand up. But if you'd like more information about us and how to join us, you can call our number, 855-949-3377, or send us an email at info@dailywithdoc.com, and whatever AJ says.
And tomorrow, don't forget to join us because Dr. Wallach will be taking your questions live.
Yes. So Wednesday and Thursday, Dr. Wallach will be on as our featured doc taking questions. So make sure you join us. And most of all, make sure that you share this program with somebody else, especially if they're having challenges and they've been to every doctor under the sun and they're still not getting better. Folks, we're not chemical deficient. Our bodies are not starving for chemicals, nor do they want to have things just covered over or suppressed. The body's nutrient deficient. And in most cases, a little bit of nutrition goes a long ways. So until tomorrow, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye-bye. Love you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain